Oh, this was a
Yeah, so we're here with Platinum Star Games YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and it's Tom D here again, apparently consistently being here, and I'm with Kyle N, who happens to be in this video, better known as
Boopa.
Yeah, better known as Boopa. So
good old Boopa.
we have Azuri. God, look at Mike's turn.
It's a great opening.
He pulled me over.
I'm pretty sure we argued if we wanted to do partials or fulls, and he was like, "I don't care which one it is. I'm keeping my hand," and he had a good reason.
So
he had the best of reason.
Turn 1 Soul Ring into Mana Vault, which we have Mana Vault up on the screen, but it's 1 taps for 3. You have to pay for it on tap it, and if it's tapped in your upkeep, you lose 1 life. Now, obviously, Soul Ring's 1 drop, taps for 2 colorless. Mike gets Azuri out, turn 2. Now, she's whenever a creature with power 2 or less comes into play, you get an experience counter, and when you go into combat, for each experience counter that you have, you get to put a +1/+1 on a creature that you control, other than Azuri. So, or I think you can put it on yourself. Another target creature, so no, it can't.
So, not great.
We also have Maelstrom Wanderer, which is Cascade, then Cascade, and all your creatures have haste.
Which is pretty good.
Fun deck.
Yeah.
And then Dean's deck is really cool. It's Miri. She is 1 green, 1 colorless, 1 white, 3/2 first strike. Whenever she's tapped, only 1 creature can attack you, and when you declare an attack with her, only 1 creature can block. Yeah. And then obviously, if you want to talk about Edgar a little bit, so we both have this deck.
It's a very just put out vampires, kill whatever's important on the board, get more vampires with the tokens, as you can see, and then just swing all out.
So we've both tailored this deck a lot.
Yeah.
So that's Gifted Aetherborn. That's a 2-drop, 2 black, 2/3 Death Touch, Lifelink.
Which is supremely good.
Yeah, and the thing about Edgar is what's dumb is he's from the Eminence block, and all the Eminence commanders are ridiculously good. Basically, Edgar's whenever you cast a vampire, you get a 1/1 for free, which is a little ridiculous.
Which is and it's on cast.
And
so
Edgar
counter spells do nothing.
Yep, they do nothing. You at least get the 1/1 always. And Edgar's a 6-drop. He is first strike haste. When he declares an attack, put a +1/+1 on all attacking creatures you control.
Which is really good.
Yes. Now, Mike also has Voyaging Satyr. He got an experience counter. Voyaging Satyr untaps a land. He has Awakening Zone, which makes a 0/1. It makes the 1/1 or the 0.
It's a 0/1 spawn.
Is it a 0/1?
0/1 spawn.
Okay, yeah, that one's the one that makes a 0/1 spawn that you can sack to add a colorless.
Yep.
To your mana pool. So Xavier is not doing so hot over here. Dean started with one of the Friendship lands in Luminarch Ascension. Luminarch Ascension is a little ridiculous, and Kyle has a little bit of a misplay on this card, but we'll get to that when it happens. So Luminarch Ascension is a little dumb in Commander, because for each turn that an opponent, that Dean isn't dealt damage, and it counts other players' turns, it's each one of his not turns, so it doesn't count his actual turn. He gets to put a counter on Luminarch Ascension, and when it gets to 4 counters, he gets to pay 2 mana, 1 white, 1 colorless, to make a freaking 4/4 Flying Angel. Now, Runetail is also ridiculous for
pretty
commander.
good.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a bad commander.
Well, yeah, no. What's his face used to play it? Glenn or whatever his face was. But so you have an Adanto Vanguard. Do you want to explain what that is?
He's a pretty cool vampire. He is a
Indulgent.
And Indulgent. Okay, I'll do Indulgent first because he's way more important.
He's one of our best.
Indulgent is a 1-drop, 1/1 lifelink, which is already good, and his ability is supremely good. He can tap 2 and sacrifice a vampire.
No, it's anything.
Sacrifice any creature, and all your vampires get +1/+1 counters. This is super good with the theme of a deck of just swinging in.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like with Edgar, when you make a 1/1 for free, it translates 1 damage from a 1/1 into 5 power on the board you have right now.
Yep.
Which is a little ridiculous if you think about it.
Really.
So then do you want to get to Adanto?
Adanto's pretty good. He is a 2-drop. I believe he's a 1/1, if not a 1/2. He can pay for a life to... You can pay for a life to make him indestructible, which is really good. And then I think it's when he's attacking, he gets like 2 more...
+2/+0.
+2/+0, yep.
Yeah. Which is kind of crazy.
It's cool. It's very good.
He's a 2-drop 3/1 that makes himself indestructible.
Now, here is the misplay Tom was talking about. Yeah. I decided to swing at Mike and Xavier instead of swinging both at Dean.
Yeah.
I don't know what came through my head. It was just a misplay. I forgot Luminarch Ascension. I forgot that it triggers off of no damage.
And every turn.
Every turn.
It's hard to remember everything that's going on in a game. It was a minor misplay. It didn't lead to too much commotion because I remember this game Dean didn't do super well.
The fact that Mike was right in front of me and he was the most threatening and he was the one with the best, like, just power, the best board in general, like, kind of scared me. So my first instinct was, okay, swing at him and then swing at the person who's open.
So Mike got the spawn in upkeep. He played Pier and got Toothy, which Pier is an amazing new addition to these counter token kind of styles.
Creature version of Hardened Scales.
Which explain it?
Hardened Scales is a one enchantment. It's actually being played in Modern right now in some Affinity decks. But it's a 1 green enchantment. It just says whenever a permanent would put a counter on something, put one more of that kind of counter on it.
Yeah.
So if it's, age counter, time counter, whatever counter it is, you get one more of it.
So now he's going to play Toothy.
Yep. And
so now do you want to explain this?
Toothy is pretty good. Obviously him and Pierre are partners, so they kind of interact with each other.
And he got to search the Toothy.
Yep. When you play one of the partners, you get the other one to your hand, which is really good.
And you can make anybody else search for it if you feel
Yep. And his effect is whenever you draw a card, you put a +1/+1 counter on Toothy, and then when he leaves the battlefield, that player draws a card for each counter on Toothy.
Mike, the crazy thing about these experience counter decks is they keep them regardless of what happens.
Yep.
Which is a little crazy.
It's kind of the same with emblems. There's no interaction you have with experience counters whatsoever.
Because it's something on the player. It's like City's Blessing, or like you have literally no interaction with it. It's a little unfair sometimes, like Eminence. But like at least Eminence is like a triggered effect. But look at what Mike got to do. Like Mike's already so far ahead of everybody. He has 3 counters. He's 3 experience counters because he's already had Toothy, Pier, and Voyaging Satyr enter, which are all below 2. So when he went into combat, he got to put 3 counters on Toothy, which already is going to net him 4 draws when that card dies.
It's really good.
This is really ridiculous. Like, Xavier plays a land ramp, which just goes on a land, and I think it taps for 2 additional colors.
Yep.
And then he has Dictator Crufix out, which is making everybody draw 2 extra cards, which is really good for you.
Us, yeah.
Yeah, like
it's good for us, and it's also really good for Mike and the Azuri player in this situation.
Okay, so the Durable Handicraft, I know this card. This is whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you can pay 1, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and you can sacrifice it to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and it's really good in this deck because Deem has like a token-making, like general theme like that with counters and tokens. Oh, we didn't even explain what Runetail's actual effect is. So Runetail's a little ridiculous. Well, when you're over 30 life, you get to just flip him.
Yep.
So he immediately flips. He's as BS as Sarah Ascendant. And it makes it so that damage dealt to your creatures is 0.
Yep.
You just take nothing.
You take no damage.
Yep.
It's really good. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I am holding up currently Swords to Plowshares, and then I think I'm also holding a Path to Exile in hand. I am.
I definitely see it.
So I was holding them. I didn't want to use them right away. I wanted to do it during Mike's turn to kind of disrupt him because I know he doesn't play many counter spells, so I didn't have to really worry about that. Yeah, I think I've seen maybe the card counterspell in his deck, and that's about it. Maybe
he plays Mystic Snake because
it's a good creature.
Because he can blink Mystic Snake, and then he plays Plasma Capture, maybe
something like that. But it's not many. As you see, I'm kind of lining up for a swing.
So Luminarch Ascension's already live, and Dean has 2 open. So
I kind of knew not to swing at Dean, and I knew.
Well, the Vanguard ends up going at Dean.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Only because it is. It can make itself indestructible. And he's not a whole.
He's basically forcing Dean to make an angel.
Yep.
Because Dean's angels are not going to take anything, and Kyle's just going to pay 4. And he's just forcing the angel to come out now if anybody's going to have any kind of interaction or anything like that.
Yep. And Gift of Aetherborn was definitely going towards Mike just because if he for some reason wanted to block it, he really couldn't just because all 3 of his creatures are good and blocking would inevitably just kill those creatures.
So I think this misplay that you had here is you 1,000,000% should have, first off, you should have swords the Toothy. And then you should have went everything at Mike because of the kind of start he had. Yep. When you see a player do that, and you have Indulgent Aristocrat, and you can turn that little amount of power into literally lethal in 2 turns, you need to do that.
Yes.
Attrition was an okay play, but then you didn't even leave the black open to actually do it. Like, I get you're leaving swords up, but if you left the Godless Shrine up, you could have had both as an option. So a little bit mistapping, it's not the end of the world.
Well,
so
I did actually, you see I have I don't know if it's clear, but there's a Sulfur Springs on the bottom, which I am just a stickler for not wanting to pay with Pain Lands. So I actually tapped Filter Land into, I definitely should have just paid. 40 life. I should have paid just because I would have had black and, you have 2 white open. Creatures. Seeing back at it, I definitely should have kept it.
So the Awakening Zone in Mike's deck is ridiculous because he's getting a spawn every turn. He gets to use mana. He gets experience. Now Toothy's at 7, and then
actually 8.
Well, I'm saying 7 counters because that's all that matters.
No, 8 counters.
Oh, yeah, it is 8. I just can't
count.
Okay. So you want to explain what Growing Rights?
Growing Rights Illamoc is a pretty good card. The front side of it is when it enters, you look at the top 4 and you get a creature into your hand. You flip if you control 4 more creatures at the end step, which is insanely good. And
then it becomes
it becomes a Guy's Cradle. It becomes a Guy's Cradle.
Blighted Agent.
And he revealed a Blighted Agent.
Guy's Cradle. Do you want to explain what
Guy's Cradle? If you don't know what it is, it's a green land that taps for green equal to the amount of creatures that you control.
And that's it.
That's straight up it.
But Growing Rights Illamoc is a little bit better in the regard that it taps for green, and then it has the option to tap for green for every creature you control, unlike Guy's Cradle, which taps for nothing if you don't control creatures. It does. Yeah, Growing Rights taps for green by itself. They made them like that. Like, they even made the one that flips into the one that taps for blue for each artifact you control. They made that one, see?
Oh, wow, you are correct. Wow, that is really powerful.
It's a little bit better than, but it's just harder to flip, but you can play them both.
Yeah.
So the reason why they did that like that is because they wanted to reprint the lands like that, but make them a little bit more balanced.
Yep. They did the same with Tolarian Academy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that one also taps for blue, and then blue for each artifact.
Yep.
So, do you want to go through Song of Freyalise?
Song of Freyalise
is dumb.
It's a cool saga. It's definitely good in Mike's deck. Its first 2 sagas, or first 2 counters, make all your creatures tap for pretty much any mana. It makes all your creatures technically a Birds of Paradise for the turn. In addition to their effects, and
which is why I got to cast that.
Yep, I'm gonna skip right to Tishana because Tishana is
so basically
really
it just makes all of his creatures be able to tap for mana for 2 turns.
And this is why he was able to cast Tishana, which is really good. And I saw this
maximum hand size.
Yep, I saw this as the immediate threat, so I wanted him to draw before he drew a bunch off of Tishana because Toothy gets counters for each card that he draws, and when Tishana enters, he would have drawn.
And isn't Toothy leaves play?
Yes, it is.
So he draws.
So he drew it anyways, but it was that.
So how much did he draw?
He drew, 1, 2, I think,
3,
8.
4.
He drew a lot.
And then 8 off Toothy, so like 12.
He drew about 12, which isn't. It's definitely not good for us, but he would have drawn more if I didn't path at that time because. That was the play that I had in mind. I wanted to path or swords, Toothy before something really bad happened.
Right.
That's why I left up the white mana, and Tishana is super good.
She is ridiculously good.
She when she enters, you draw a card for each creature.
Ovaya.
And then Ovaya, he plays Ovaya next, which. It's also really good
in his deck because understand that every time he plays something that's 2 power or less, so you're going to see a lot of token generating. He gets to flip the Growing Rights to Illamoc, and then Ovaya is 3, create a 1/1 color to serve our artifact creature token, and then 5
tap her, create a XX construct where X is just the same as a Guy's Cradle, the amount of creatures that you have.
Which it stays like that. It doesn't check. It checks while you're tapping it, and then it stays at whatever it was.
Yep.
So if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures, it's going to be a 5/5.
Yep.
That's it. So the bottom of Song of Freyalise, I believe, is when it sacks, it gives them all +2/+2 indestructible.
No, it actually it's a bit different. It gives them +1, all your creatures +1/+1 counters, and then it gives all your creatures indestructible, vigilance, trample, and maybe haste. I don't know about haste, but it gives all those for the turn.
I actually don't know what he just played.
I have no clue. That's a Nin the Pain.
Yeah, I know Nin. Yeah, I know Nin.
Nin is pretty funny.
She has a funny little commander deck.
Yep.
Do you know how that one works?
I've heard of it before. It's funny.
Basically, you play a card that you it makes you search your library for a non-land card, and you just keep ninning until you draw a treasure find, which gets you to that one enchantment that you discard lands and deal 2 damage to somebody.
Oh.
So you're supposed to like draw your whole library basically.
Oh.
Mike had it for a while, but it's very luck sacky, just like the modern version of the deck. Because there is a treasure find deck, and it plays a land. Listen to this shit. It plays a land that you can give all your creatures +1/+1 in haste, but then I think when you tap it, you like give it to your opponent.
That's cool. That's
it's
cool.
just something that they play because they're just trying to win in that one turn.
That's not a horrible idea. So my turn is coming up.
Oh, do you want to explain attrition, by the way, because you did play?
Oh yeah, attrition is kind of simple. It's just 1 black sacrifice creature, kill a destroy target non-black creature.
Yeah, it's an enchantment.
That's gonna come into play in a second. You're gonna, after Deed's turn, you're gonna see kind of where the shit hit the fan. It wasn't that bad of play of what's coming up next. Champion of the Lambhole, I don't know if we're gonna pull it up here, but Champion of the Lambhole is pretty good. Let's look it up. I completely forgot.
It's powered. Creatures with power less than its power can't block, and whenever another creature under your control enters the battlefield, you put +1/+1 counter on it. Yeah, he has it right there.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
What is your shit? I typed in Champion of the Lamb, and
what is that shit? Click on that shit. What is that?
Okay, we're gonna look at this after the video, but we'll get back to the game.
So you're untapping.
Going to my turn, I untap.
Do you want to explain Path really quick too?
Yeah, Path to Exile is same as Source Plowshares, which is in my hand, kind of. It's a 1 white instant. The exile target creature, Source of Plowshares gives them life equal to their defense, and then
I think it's power.
No, it's either power or toughness. I'm not sure. And then Path to Exile gives them a basic land from their deck tapped, which isn't bad.
Mike is so far.
Mike is beyond ahead. He has mana forever. He has Tashana with no maximum mana size.
Have you been drawing the 2 cards?
Yes, I did. We can. I can show you later, but I did draw the.
Oh yeah, you had a land, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So.
I just played land for turn. So you see one of the vampires in my hand, Stormkirk Condemned. I don't know if I play it. I don't fully remember. And I don't know if we'll pull it up, but it is a really good vampire. It is 2 black for a 2/2. Obviously vampires, so you get the token, but when you can activate his ability.
You can discard a card.
You can discard a card and all your vampires get +1/+1.
Until the end of the turn.
Yes.
And then you can only do it once per turn.
Once each turn, which is cool because you can actually do it during your opponent's turn. Once. So if you really needed blockers,
And we have a card that combos really well with that called Falconwrath Gorger.
Oh,
which is a 1-drop 2/1 red. And then it's whenever you would all your vampires have madness, and what madness is if you discard a vampire for any reason, you may exile it and then cast it for its normal mana cost.
Yep.
So with all these things we have in our deck that makes us discard things, which we have quite a bit, synergies with that kind of card, and then we have Stensia Banquet.
Which is just straight up madness. It has a straight up madness cost of its same madness cost, and it's an enchantment with 1 red and 2 of anything. And it makes all your creatures when they deal damage, they get +1/+1.
And then it also gives them all first strike.
Yep, it gives them all first strike. Yep.
Just generically gives them all first strike.
So you see, I swing out at Dean because I'm somewhat realizing he's a bit of a threat with the Angels. Not much of a threat, not at least as much as Mike, but I did target him a little bit. So I've established that Mike's kind of the first threat, Dean's the second threat, and then Xavier is the third threat. And I think you're about to see. Yeah, I'm gonna activate attrition twice. So I forget what I target. I'm gonna target. I may be targeting in the Pain Artist. I don't 100% remember. We're about to see.
Yeah, I don't think that you needed to do that.
Yeah, we'll see. So one of them was definitely on Tashana because that card is.
And it's gonna have to make him discard if he doesn't have a Reliquary Tower. So.
Which we didn't see Reliquary Tower as of now, so it definitely would have been good to make him discard. And the second target is Ovia, which is definitely reasonable because he can just make a construct token.
Or you could just make him recast Azuri, and he can't do anything. He doesn't get experience counters without Azuri.
Yep.
So I think Azuri would have been the better target there, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Because if he tries to just play Azuri again, you can just attrition again
Yep.
before he goes into combat and just fucking kill it.
Yeah, which is why I also held up mana, because I'm pretty sure we're at this point we're at Mike's end step, or sorry, my end step, and he is
I think that's an
cycling.
Ash Barons.
Yeah, he was cycling. He was basic cycling an Ash Barons, to get a island. And then we were going to his turn. Which is why I kept mana open. I have 2 black open, or actually, I think I may have 3 because of that filter land. So
Yeah, you can fetid Heath the Plateau
Yep.
into 2 black. So.
Yep. So if I really wanted to, I could destroy 3 creatures, which would destroy 3 of my creatures.
But I mean, the token is whatever.
The token doesn't matter. The token definitely is something that I can just sacrifice.
Yes. I see the Rogue's Passage. So do you want to explain Rogue's Passage?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
I know what it does.
Okay.
It's just, I think it's 4 mana, tap it, target creature's unblockable this turn.
Yeah, that is definitely really, really good.
So he's
Yeah,
getting a
pull it up.
spawn again. He gets another counter, so he's up to 5.
Yep.
So I don't even know if Mike wins the way that his deck normally wins. I think he wins it in a more interesting way, because normally it's Sage of Hours, which is one. I think he's a 2-drop, 1 blue, 1 colorless. Oh, explain this.
Rishkar is really good. When he enters, puts 2 counters on up to 2 target creatures, which changes with Peer, because he does have Peer out. I don't know if he recognizes that. I don't fully remember, but he gets, I believe, 1 more counter, so he puts 3 counters on. Now realizing it, he can only put the extra counter has to go on one of the 2 creatures that you originally put a counter on, because the way Rishkar is worded, it's up to 2 creatures. So I don't know if the extra...
No, up to 2 target creatures means he can put it on whatever, 1 or 2.
Yeah, but I'm saying the extra counter from Peer would have to go on one of those 2 creatures.
Yeah, you're right, yes.
So that is kind of a...
Plus, she didn't matter too much because he already had the Song of Freyalise, which is making them all tap. All right, so do you want to explain this card? And I'm glad you're actually reading it.
Yeah, I am pretty good with just reading cards if I don't know what they do. So Varel is really good. It's a creature. It is a 1/4, which is already somewhat unkillable. It has an ability where you tap a green and a blue and tap itself. It doubles the amount of counters on target, either creature, artifact, or land, which is really good. And then next to Kiora, which sadly it cannot target planeswalkers, which would be amazing. But Kiora is pretty cool. It untaps a creature and up to 1 land, which is really good.
That's what he uses it for.
Yep, when you have a Growing Rights Itlamok that taps for 5-6 creatures, taps for 5-6 mana, it's really good. And here I believe he is.
Did he do the minus?
He may have. He may have actually.
Yeah, because he's looking at the top.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's getting a turn.
Yeah, he actually minus. He didn't go for the plus
This is about to get really bad.
Yeah, he just added Eternal Witness, which is really good.
Oh, this is about to get really bad.
Yep. Actually, now realizing it, I think we had a bit of a misplay on our part. So, I don't remember, but it depends on how Tishana was killed, because if I remember correctly, Tishana may have been killed with a Path to Exile, which means Tishana should be exiled. Oh no! Wait,
Toothy was killed with.
Toothy was killed with the. Sorry, Toothy
still have swords in your hand.
I still have swords in it. Sorry, that was. I'm sorry, I'm mixing things up. So Swords of Plowshares is still in my hand, which may be the next. Tishana may be the next target for that swords, if not with an attrition, because it enters and it is really good. You see him tapping the
because thanks to Song of Freyalise, he can make any color. And Rishkar, anything with a counter on it can tap
for a green. Yep. So he already had green from Growing Rights Itlamok, and he had blue from tapping Pure because of Song of Freyalise, which is definitely good.
Mike is just exploding.
He is dumping.
I guess that's what a turn 2 Azuri does.
Yeah.
So what are you making, like 2 white or something?
I think I'm making 2 black. 2 black because I believe I'm going to attrition a couple things, or at least 1. I don't remember what I target here. There are a lot of targets on the field that are viable. Rishkar's okay. I think it's Vodell, the one who doubles the amount of targets, is definitely good. So you see me actually rearrange my mana. So I wanted to keep up the white. I wanted to keep up the white so that I had the Swords to Plowshares to actually permanently get rid of something that was, a threat.
Okay, yeah, you got rid of the thing that doubles
Yep.
counters. That's good.
Yep. Don't mind me with my phone.
Just
Don't mind me.
oh God! Look at all that drawing.
Yeah,
man.
he just draws and draws and draws, And I definitely wanted to do the attrition before the trigger for Tishana just to get one less draw off of Tishana. As much as it doesn't seem like a lot, it can mean the world.
I feel like Azuri is so undervalued because Marin is like the other.
Marin is the other experienced.
She's just
commander.
ridiculous. Also,
like she's better, but marginally.
But
she's
like,
better, but
Marin,
not a
Marin,
whole lot.
Marin rings like. Okay, like Marin wins off of the fact that like you can make combos easily because you get stuff out of your grave.
Yep.
So Marin is whenever one of your creatures dies, you can put an experience. You get an experience counter, and during the end of your turn, you can play a creature out that has a CMC equal to or less than
the amount of experience counters you have.
Yes, so she's cool, and for green, green, black, and 2 colorless, that's pretty ridiculous.
Yep.
But Azuri just wins right away with Sage of Hours in 2 colors that you can tutor the best for Sage of Hours, other than having black. And like, it's so easy to win. Like, you can win right away in Azuri because with Sage of Hours, who's a 1 blue, 1 colorless, he is heroic, so when you target him with a spell, he gets a +1/+1 counter, and you can remove 5 +1/+1 counters with him. Take an extra turn after this.
Yep.
Now, Mike is already over 5, so every time he goes into combat, he gets to just put, I think he's at 6, 8? What is he at now? Like,
he is at a lot.
I think he's at 8.
He's at like 8 experience counters.
So whenever he goes into combat, he just gets to dump 8 counters on something, which is just ridiculous. Like, so when he draws Sage of Hours, he just wins pretty much. It's infinite turns at that point. Play his deck, get rid of things. Eventually, he's just going to win. Like, it's pretty ridiculous combo. It's really easy to pull off.
Yep.
Like, a little too easy.
I think there was one thing we didn't mention about Tishana, more of how busted she is. Her power and toughness are equal to the amount of cards in your hand.
Yeah.
Which is really
Why Mike
good.
went up to 43.
Yeah, when I Swords to Plowshares, because he gained like, I think it was like 7, 8 maybe.
But he's discarding hand size.
He is discarding hand size. He discards a lot of lands, because at this point he's got mana for forever. He decides to
8 counters.
He puts 9
And there he remembers
counters.
he remembers the P. He remembers the appear this time.
He puts 9 counters on a Chilling Witness, which is
poor
funny.
Xavier, man. He's just trying his little heart out.
Yeah,
But
he's trying.
This game is just not going super well for him right now.
I think he does at this point play Maelstrom Wanderer just to try and do something. I don't think he did a whole lot, but he's trying. He's trying to stay in.
I mean, Dean's not in that bad of a place.
Dean's okay.
I don't know if Dean realized that if he would have just played like his commander last turn instead of the Druid craft thing, he could have like played his commander, swung at Mike with everything, and you guys could have started getting damage to Mike.
Yep.
But I don't know how long Dean waits. Is that a Beast Within?
Yeah.
So
Xavier is Beast Within Mike's Zuri. Beast Within is a 3 mana instant. It's 1 green and 2. It destroys target permanent, and it gives the opponent a 3/3 boar, I think?
It's a beast.
Beast, sorry, beast.
So, basically, here's the other Kiora.
Yeah, the other Kiora is even cooler.
Yeah, this is a +1 until your next turn. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to and dealt by target permanent your opponent controls. -1 draw card. Yep. You may play an additional land this turn,
which is really good.
Really good.
Yeah,
I might want to put that in Tavayao.
Yep.
You get an emblem with at the beginning of your end step. Put a 9/9 blue Kraken creature token onto the battlefield, which is only a -5. Wow, this comes out at 2.
Yep.
What? What a weird number to come out at.
It's a weird number. It means...
That's got to be one of the lowest loyalty planeswalkers, period.
Yeah, that's close to it. But it makes sense because her ultimate won't come out till 4 turns after. Because you have to do +1 for 3 turns, and then the ult is the 4th turn. And not to mention, that's sacking her. If you want to keep her, that's more turns. An emblem is okay. It's at the beginning it's just at the beginning at your end step. Put a 9/9 Kraken into play, which I mean, hey, who doesn't love Krakens? I mean,
Yeah. And that's a little easy to get off.
yeah. If you have a proliferate or anything like that, she's definitely a commander you would want.
She doesn't even ult when you doubling season.
Yep.
Like, she goes to
It's
four.
pretty good.
Wow. That sucks a little bit. All right, so finally, here's Miri. So Dean has we've put in a bunch of cool ways to interact with Miri. He has a land out, which is probably literally one of his best lands in the deck, which lets him tap a creature to float a mana of every color.
Yep.
So what that means is, if you read her, as long as she's tapped, no more than one creature can attack you each combat. And whenever she attacks, this is a triggered ability. Whenever she attacks, each opponent can't block with more than one creature this combat. So if you let her attack, for a 3-drop 3/2, she's amazing in any
really
token deck, any deck that you're trying to get through damage.
Yep.
And me and him have done a lot of work to make her pretty solid and pretty sweet. And she's got a lot of cool interaction. He's got a lot of cool ways of abusing her, like vehicles. Smuggler's Copter. Play Smuggler's Copter.
Yeah.
Tap her when someone goes into combat. Animate Smuggler's Copter. Back. Block. Get to draw and discard. Which Smuggler Copter is a 2-drop.
2-drop, 3/3. If it's creature, when
It's a vehicle.
It's a vehicle, yeah.
Which is crew for 1.
Its crew is 1, which is insanely good. And when it, I think it's attacks.
Attacks or blocks.
Attacks or blocks, you get to draw a card and discard a card, which is one of the. It's called looting. One of the best abilities in this game. Jace Prodigy. So many things have stuff like that. One of the best abilities in this game.
So this is one of our best creatures in the deck. This
Forerunner of the
one's decently new.
Yeah,
from
he came out in
Rivals.
Rivals, sorry. He is really good. He when he enters, you put a vampire from your deck on top of your deck.
So it's an actual vampire too.
Yep. And when you
whenever another vampire enters the battlefield,
target creature gets +1/+1, which is cool. It's a cool little boost, but it's definitely there for the 200.
Wait, it's target creature. What? Wait, is it not himself?
No, he doesn't.
anything?
It's target creature gets +1/+1.
So you can do it to anything.
You can do it to anything.
Have I never read? I've never read that right.
Well, that's
so Kalitas seems really
So
good.
yeah, I put Kalitas on top of my deck.
So you want to explain what
So
it is?
Kalitas is really good. He's a 4-drop vampire. He is a 3/4, and he makes it so whenever a non-token I think it's just non-token creature. Yeah. Whenever a non-token creature and opponent controls dies, instead of going to the grave, it will be exiled, and then I make a 2/2 zombie for it.
Yep.
And then the other effect is tap 2 in a black and sacrifice a vampire or a zombie, and I put 2+1/+1 counters on
Which is
Kalitas.
great in this.
Oh,
because
yeah.
he comes with a vampire.
Yeah, he casts with a vampire.
Do you want to explain Viscerous here?
Viscerous Shear is pretty cool. Good old modern staple. It is sacrifice a creature, scry 1. Simple as that.
It's 1 black.
It's a 1-drop.
Vampire Wizard.
Yep, Vampire
So
Wizard.
it's really good in our deck. So one thing that I think I've actually messed up with Forerunner is I didn't know it said target creature, so that's actually even better than I thought it was.
100%
Because for each, it says enter the battlefield. So for those 4 creatures that enter the battlefield that turn,
Yep.
So that's a +3/+3 on one of your vampires. That Death Touch creature could have swung for 5.
Well, actually, it would be a little less only because of the vampire token that comes into the battlefield from Forerunner of the Legion comes in first. It comes before the Forerunner.
So it would have only been +2/+.
Yeah, it would have been +2/+. It was still good. I mean, it could have gone on maybe. I could have put it on something if I wanted to.
So here's something that Kyle doesn't.
Yeah.
Kyle, it comes around next turn, but Kalitas and Attrition has a really awesome interaction that I figured out. So I've tailored this deck a lot. I made it first, and then Kyle really liked it, and we've kind of like worked on it together and made it as good as we can because we think it's a really good commander. I would say it's not like uber top tier in 4-way, but as far as a 1v1 though, it's insane.
In 1v1, it was good enough to get banned the week it came out in French. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. So when we get to play the best removal, and Attrition is a ridiculous jamming.
A great card.
Like, you eat up that. Like, if you were in a 1v1 with Mike right now, and you were just removing everything
Mike would have been dead even with the hand that he has.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
It would have just been gone.
The deck kills so fast, and, you know, we play so many anthems and things like that, and Kalitas has a really awesome interaction with Attrition where, because Attrition is pay 1 black, destroy target non-black creature, sacrifice a creature. So Kalitas is whenever an opponent's creature dies, you exile it, you make a 2/2.
Yep.
So when the first time you kill something, you make a 2/2.
Yep.
Now you can sack that 2/2
to kill another creature, to get another 2/2,
yeah.
to kill that, to sacrifice the 2/2 to
So
get another creature.
if we randomly had a
it,
way to make infinite black in Edgar,
we can just nuke the board.
yes.
We can just nuke the entire board.
Yes. So it's a really cool interaction where with attrition you just constantly get to kill things equal to the amount of mana you have, which is dope. And we
Yep.
figured it out later in life, but it is really awesome.
It is
okay, so
really
Rishkar's
cool.
expertise. Do you want to explain this?
That's a
is
pretty
amazing.
good card. So when you
Yeah.
cast it, you draw cards equal to the greatest power you have
Among creatures you control.
So with an Eternal Witness with 10 counters on it, I believe he's drawn 12 cards, which is really good. And also the other amazing part of it is when you cast it, you could put a 5 or less a card with 5 or less CMC, or permanent with 5 or less CMC from
No.
your hand
It's
onto the
you make you can cast a card with converted
you
mana.
cast. So it is
and you draw first.
Yep, you draw before it. So
Because the way that spells work is you go top
to bottom.
to bottom.
So you draw 12 cards. And
Oh, there's a Helm of the Host.
yeah, that's not good.
is
That's
dumb.
not good for us.
At the
Helm of the
beginning
Host-
of your combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of the equipped creature, except the token isn't legendary. If the equipped creature is legendary, that token gains haste and it has equipped cost for 5.
Yep.
Now, this has been broken in our shop for so long.
Yes,
The second this
it
card
is
came
a
out.
super insane equipment.
Yeah. Do you want to look up the samurai? I think
So
Gonti.
it's Godo. So
Godo,
if you guys know who this guy is, I've had some pretty fun experience with him.
Yeah.
Godo, it's called Godo the Bandit Warlord. He is a 6-drop mono red commander. He's a 3/3. He just got 1 red and 5 colorless.
He's legendary.
He is a legendary. He's a human barbarian. So the thing is, when Godo Bandit Lord comes into play, you may search your library for equipment card and put it into play. If you do, shuffle your library. When Godo attacks for the first time each turn, untap all. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, never mind. So we are realizing this for the first time on camera.
What?
That combo actually doesn't work.
Wait, what do you mean?
Because he himself is not a samurai. So he does not untap when he attacks.
No, untap it.
Oh, sorry.
And all other
okay, never mind. Never mind.
And all other
my brain just had an epiphany
You're
right
such
now.
a dingus.
So he actually says, whenever Godo attacks for the first time each combat, untap it and all samurai you control.
Yeah.
After this phase, you get an additional combat
Yes.
phase. So the trick is, you when you play Godo, you get
Helm of the Host.
You get Helm of the Host from the deck, and it goes onto the field. It's a mono red deck, so you try and play Manamorphose, Pyretic Ritual.
Can't play
Manamorphose. Sabine Spirit Guide. You play Sabine Spirit Guide and all those red mana creatures and mana spells that will get you to the mana to just equip it. So you go to combat. You get a token of Godo. When you swing with both of them, you get a trigger which untaps both of them. You get another combat.
It makes another creature with Helm of the Host. So it just
Host.
keeps crapping out creatures with
Yep.
Helm of the Host. So let's catch up here because we're a little far behind.
Yep.
Sakura Tribe Elder, 1 green, 1 colorless, sack it, search your library for a basic land, put it into play, tap. We got Hardening Scales, which is like Pyrrha, which adds an additional counter whenever we put a counter on a permanent.
Yep.
Charlotte's Agent is 1 blue, 1 colorless, and 1 green. When it enters, when you cast it, it cascades, so it can cast anything that's CMC lower than it for free from your deck, and then you put everything back on the bottom. Gyre Sage is stupid broken in Mike's deck.
Yes.
It's whenever it has evolved, so whenever a creature enters the battlefield with higher power or toughness than it, you get to put a counter on it. And since he has a Pyrrha and a Hardening Scales, it's putting it's putting 2 additional counters on what he's doing stuff on.
Yep.
And it taps for green for each counter
on it,
Yeah.
which is really good.
So
And then the big card that you just played, which you see on the
Vigor.
screen, is Vigor. Vigor is really good. If you guys can't tell, we're using the back of that token as a Helm of the Host, so it's another Sage Wayfinder.
So the other thing cool about Helm of the Host is it gives it haste. So if you don't want to swing,
You just keep
you
it
don't
and
have
use
to
it
because it comes at the beginning of combat,
Yep.
not during attacking.
Yep.
So it's not committed to attacking.
Yep, it's not like Hero of the Blade Holder.
So you could just make something like hasty and just freaking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could just wait. So basically with Vigor is if if damage would be dealt to another creature you control, prevent that damage and put that many +1/+1 counters on it instead.
And he's got his own little
Trample.
He's got trample, and he's got the Eldrazi Titan type effect where if he goes to the grave, he just gets shuffled back to deck.
Yep.
So he is somewhat he's pretty hard to deal with.
So did you see what Mike did? He used Kiora to untap Voyaging Satyr and the Growing Rites Iltimok, which is tapping for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
9.
He made 8, 16.
No, a lot more.
And then untapped Voyaging Satyr again, so he used the land 3 times.
Yep.
And then he gets to
play
type.
a Mycoloth.
So do you want to read it?
Mycoloth is a Devour 2, and Devour is, as this card enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures.
Which he does.
Yep.
You sack equal to the Devour cost.
Equals to
So
the
he can
Devour
only
cost.
Devour 2.
Yep, so, and he gets twice that many +1/+1 counters. Not to mention, with Peer and Hardened
So
Scales.
it's going to start at 6?
Yep. And then at the beginning of his upkeep, he creates a 1/1 green sapling creature token for each +1/+1 counter on him, which is really good. Mm-hmm. You eventually just start making
because
so
the
many
experience
+1/+1.
counters that Azuri is getting
Yep.
is becoming absurd. Oh, and this is a new card also.
Animation module.
Yeah, animation module. So whenever one or more +1/+1 counter is placed on a permanent you control, you may pay 1 if you do create a 1/1 colorless servo. 3 and tap, choose a counter on target permanent or player. Give that permanent or player another counter of that kind. So Dean plays this also. Dean plays a lot of this stuff. Their decks are like similar, but Mike has blue.
Yep.
Azuri is arguably like a little ridiculous, but Mike is obviously getting out of hand at this point. You guys need some board wipes.
Oh yeah, it's sad because I know for a fact I do not play board wipes, and Xavier and Dean, I'm not sure on the other hand. Xavier may play a few board wipes. Dean, I feel like would. I feel like he could if he want to play a Wrath of God or.
I think he might play Marshall Coop.
Yep, he may play
the one that makes the 1/1s and you get to destroy it.
It is a 2 white
an X
and an X, and for X you get that many
1/1s
after you nuke the board, which is really good.
Wait a minute, no, I think you have to at least pay 5 though.
Yeah.
There's like a limit to it because then it would just be a 2-drop board wipe that destroys everything.
Yep. Okay, so it's 2 black, it's 2 white, and
if you pay 5 or more, destroy all other creatures.
Put X 1/1 white soldier tokens into play. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures.
Yes, there you go. Yep. So he finally plays Maelstrom Wanderer, which is Cascade. So first thing he hits is Faithless Looting. He's going to resolve Faithless Looting. He has 2 stacks of Cascade, and Maelstrom Wanderer is 6. So he gets to cast anything that's 6 or less, regardless of what it is. Cascade's ridiculous. It goes on. Technically, it shouldn't be on the field yet. The way it works is you're casting it. Oh my God! Did he really hit an Omnath?
We actually didn't realize this, but that is technically an illegal play.
What is Maelstrom? What is Maelstrom Wanderer's?
CMC?
Isn't it 6?
I want to say
Maelstrom Wanderer. I'm pretty sure it's 6. It's close enough.
Oh no, it's actually
Oh no, it can.
It's 8. It can. Okay. Yeah.
So and all of his creatures have haste also. So Omnath is sick.
Yeah.
He's a 5/5. Whenever land enters the battlefield, you put a 5/5 elemental into play.
And then he plays.
And whenever an elemental dies, you get to deal 3 damage to target creature or player.
And then he plays Doctor Mystic. I think you can explain this.
Yeah. So each player reveals the top card of his or her library. You may put the revealed card into their owner's graveyards. If you don't, each player draws a card. So basically, it's a very politics card.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's going to get to look at the top their top card, and then wait. Oh yeah, all of his creatures have haste. I was like,
oh yeah.
But yeah, no, all of his creatures have haste. So he's going to make all you guys look at the top, and then he gets to choose what's graveyarded and what's drawn.
Yep. And I know we've been pointing out a lot and we've been saying people are cheating. We only say this because at one point Xavier did forget something, which is okay. We do not hold any grudges. We don't care.
Yeah, it's called a soft cheat.
Yeah, it's a soft cheat.
It just means really you weren't paying attention and you weren't thinking about that things don't work in a certain way.
You guys can look back at it. He played a very early, I think maybe turn 2 or 3 for his lands. He played a Rootbound Crag. Untapped.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's just kind of why we've been on the edge.
He didn't
want to make sure everything's being played correctly.
He didn't have a forest or a mountain at the time.
Yep. Well, sorry. Okay, Rootbound Crag is the
buddy.
Yeah, it is the buddy land. So it has to enter if he has a
Forest or Mountain.
Forest or a Mountain, which he didn't at the time. So we're just looking out. We don't need to, try to just nitpick or whatever. We just want to make sure that everything is just being played right.
Agreed. So, Mike revealed Peregrine Drake, which is ridiculous.
Which is kind of a win condition.
When it enters, you untap 5 lands.
Yep.
And Mike has ways to blink it. He plays the combo. He plays the Deep Sea Navigator.
Yep.
And
I think he does
Peregrine
play.
Drake.
Yep. I think he also does play Deadeye Navigator.
Deadeye Navigator.
Yep.
That's what it is. God. All right. So the what's its name again? Deadeye Navigator. So
Navigator,
it's 2 blue and 4 colorless. It has Soulbound, which is whenever unbound soulbound creature enters the battlefield, or when it enters the battlefield, it can equip to another creature and it can hook to another creature, and both the creatures have the effect of pay 1 blue and 1 colorless. You may blink this creature and return it to the battlefield.
Yep.
Now, Deadeye Navigator can do that, so it can re-equip itself to other things. That's why it's so freaking ridiculous, and it gets abused in Commander all the time.
Yeah,
literally all the time.
It is a combo piece. It is a combo
with
piece.
With Palinchron, Peregrine
decks.
Drake, anything really. It's just Peregrine Drake is a lower CMC. Palinchron's better because it can actually go infinite with itself if you have a mana doubler.
Yep.
Any mana doubler and a certain number of lands, 7 lands,
Yep.
and you win with Palinchron.
Yeah.
6 or 7 lands. It's
Really
something
good.
like that. I forget the math, how it starts taking. So literally with Zendikar Resurgence, which is 7...
7 for a green enchantment. It makes all your lands tap for double.
And whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a
You draw
card.
a card,
You
yep.
have to. It's not a mana.
Yep, it is.
So, Virtuous Gearhulk, trample, when it enters, distribute 4+1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you
think
control.
he gave it-
I think Mike and Dean both play this, and I think he put it on the Angel because they're all trying to go at Mike as hard as possible right now. And this is that misplay.
That we were talking about on my part. It's about to come up when I go to my turn. At least I think so.
This is the Kalidas.
I think this is
because it was after the Peregrine Drake was revealed, and then we'll talk about it when it comes up.
Yeah.
So remember that nifty interaction I said with Kalidas about being able to exile creatures, and then you make 2/2s. So I think Kyle would have been able to kill 3 creatures and waited, so Mike wasn't like winning, because I'm pretty sure that the game is ending soon.
Yeah, the game is starting to come to a close a
Yeah.
little bit. Mike is getting overpowered. The one you're gonna see what comes up next. I will play the Cletus, but there was something else that I did that I should have.
I think you played 2 other creatures.
I played a Captivating Vampire.
Yeah.
Because I remember I took the Mycloth, or Mycloth, however it's pronounced. Because I thought it was a very big threat. I
think him making tokens at this point means nothing.
Yep.
It's just keeping him off combo playing. Yeah. That's the one thing that players, a lot of players don't get, and it's something that like I've picked up from like years of playing Commanders. Like, you should always wait when it comes to removal. Like, never commit to something. When you have a card like Attrition, when you have a card like Captivating Vampire, and you get to choose what gets taken, if it's something that's not winning the game immediately, don't do anything to it. Like, wait. Like, you know that Mike has the potential to combo. You know that he has Peregrine Drake. You know he has Eternal Witness. You know he has the Deadeye Navigator, so he can blink Eternal Witness and just get back the Peregrine Drake. Like, and Deadeye Navigator plus Peregrine Drake, because it's soulbound to Peregrine Drake. You pay 2 to blink Peregrine Drake to have a re-enter, to re-soulbound it, to untap your land. You make infinite mana. Like, when you know something like that's existing in the game, you got to slow down a little bit and just think that it's better to just, commit to that Kalidas, leave 3 black open, and then just kill 3 creatures when he tries to do anything, exile them, and just get the free kills because it was a free kill engine. And you probably would have at least... I'm not saying that it would have caused Mike to lose. Because Mike is so goddamn far ahead at this point.
Even if that happened, he's still...
But I think with 2 more turns of Dean, it would have ended the game.
Yeah.
And the fact that you could have exiled the Deadeye Navigator, or like exiled whatever you were hitting. You could have played Kalidas, exiled Eternal Witness.
Yeah.
And he would have lost that whole little thing that he was doing. So we'll see. I remember you doing this, and I was like, this is just so close to making it go a little bit longer. Because obviously everybody was aggroing Mike, and then it would have been good for you. On the you played New Blood.
I played New Blood. I remember I did take the
New Blood is tapping on tap Vampire.
Yep. Tapping on tap Vampire.
We love this card.
This card.
I'm such a fan of this
It
card.
is so funny. It is just it's 2 black and 2 colorless.
Sorcery.
It's a sorcery. And as additional cost, you have to tap and untap Vampire take control of target creature, it becomes a vampire. In addition to its types. That is it. That is, like, there's no condition. It doesn't go back at the end of the turn. It doesn't die. That is it. Unconditional, take a creature.
You also could have taken a creature and sacked the creature to indulge an aristocrat.
Or Viscera.
Or Viscera, yeah.
Which definitely would have been a nice play.
Man, we got some nifty plays in our deck,
Yep.
man.
But I didn't really want to just sack the Mycoloth just because, for me, it could have been good.
But you really not doing Kalitas on the
Yeah, not that was the misplay. Not
You left 3 black open.
Yeah, I was ready to do attrition plays. I was ready to sacrifice maybe 1 or 2 creatures.
And I guess you didn't, because I didn't explain that play to you at that point.
Yeah,
so you didn't see that line.
Yeah, this was the game where we kind of realized that combo. We kind of, like, saying it through.
It's like kind of like a combo.
Yeah, it's a combo for whatever
like
mana
infinite,
you have.
but it's a true combo.
Yeah.
But it's nifty. I like it. I think it's sweet.
It definitely is good.
I've tailored and there's so many good synergies in the deck. I just love the way it plays. It's so much fun to play. It's so aggressive.
Yep.
And it's weirdly one of an aggressive commander deck that can literally keep up in a 4-way. Because the creatures get so big and you don't overcommit. And we get to play stuff like Necropotence, Phyrexian Arena, Argos Bloodfast. Like, we play our Enlightened Tutor. We play... See... You're killing 3 creatures right now, and this is the thing that I'm talking about, is in Commander, you always have to wait.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you could have had a Kalitas, kept all of the creatures, exiled Eternal Witness on his turn so he had no way to respond to it, because he was tapped out at that point, and then waited with the extra 2, and then you could, because you would have used the Sulfuric Springs, and then used the Fetid Heath whenever he was trying to do something else, and you would have definitely got more turns. And look at what Xavier and Dean are packing over there. They definitely would have killed Mike.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Because at this point, Mike was actually behind for the first time. The only thing he was ahead in was card advantage.
Yep.
And he has to reset. And if you're leaving interaction open, always wait. Like, this is something that most players are mistaken about, is they want to make an impact on their turn, and they don't always have to do that. I play a lot of control, and it's one of my best archetypes to play, and we ended up playing a lot of control in Edgar, but not too much. It's just the best we can play in those colors, and you have to know how to do it, when to respond. Because think about it, if you're committing your attrition to that, he has all that mana and all that wiggle room to do stuff, and everybody else in the game is tapped out other than Dean. And Dean didn't even leave the land open that taps Miri. That's it pretty much. You're giving Mike a free turn. You're saying, here's my interaction, it's already gone, and now you get to just do what you want, and if you have a way to win, you have a way to win, and I lose.
Yep.
So that's how it's going to work, and that's actually how it ends up going.
Yep.
Because of the misplayed on the attrition, Mike ends up winning.
Yep.
Because he gets this. He got the Drake. So he gets to untap 5 lands.
And he plays the Deadeye
Navigator. Plays the Deadeye Navigator. He makes infinite mana. So he's not untapping his lands, but Deadeye Navigator, we explained this combo already. So he gets to play Azuri. He has all of his counters. Now he also, another nifty little thing about Deadeye Navigator that people forget is when you make infinite mana, is that you get infinite blinks also.
Yep.
So if you have something like Eternal Witness, if you have something like Snapcaster,
if something enters the battlefield,
like Terracidon, or Thragtusk, or you want to know something that I can do in Tatiova is Craterhoof Behemoth.
Oh boy!
You can Tooth and Nail for Craterhoof Behemoth and Deadeye Navigator,
soulbound him, and then
just do it, and then
do it, and then do it.
Yeah,
with all the mana.
Or Avenger and Avenger.
Oh boy, that's a lot of tokens.
Yeah, that's why I put that in over because what's his face? Jake was playing Temur Sabertooth, and I was like, Deadeye Navigator is just so much better. Oh, here's the Acidic Slime. You want to explain that?
Acidic Slime is just a 5 mana, 2 green creature. Death Touch. When he enters, destroy target land, enchantment, or artifact, and he goes for my attrition because attrition was putting in some work.
I think he played a Fathom Mage.
Yeah, he played some
which
cool
is when
things.
When he puts counters on it, he gets to draw a card.
Yep. So he's gonna start drawing a lot of cards. He played a Blighted Agent, which is not good for us. That is.
It has a 1/1 with Infect, and it has Unblock.
Unblock. So he's
already at Infect dead.
Yep. If
he's at 13 counters right now.
Yep. If he gives it haste, then we all lose, or at least someone dies.
Yeah, but here's my thing. is when it comes to removal in Commander, you want things as generic as possible. So stuff like Acidic Slime is amazing. Stuff like Beast Within is amazing. Even though you may be giving them some, or you might have to wait a little longer to play your removal, you want more true removal, which is why in Edgar, we go with stuff like Vindicate, Mortify, Utter End, Anguish in Making, Council's Judgment, like things that are all... Mike was explaining that he now has infinite experience counters.
Yep.
Because since Peregrine Drake is constantly coming in, he makes infinite experience counters because Peregrine Drake just happens to be a 2/2.
Yep.
So now he's plays Sakura Tribe Elder, which is tap in to put a land into play. He pretty much has everything at this point.
Yep.
But I think that he also has that Graph Toad in play. I can't really tell.
Yeah, he has some good general, just big and good stuff on the field.
So I think that's that Graph Toad. Because I know... No, that's Biovisionary... Master Biovisionary or something. That's Fathom Mage, and that's Master Biomancer. Hold on. I think it's Master Biomancer. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
right
Master Biomancer.
What does it do?
It is each other creature you control enters the battlefield with a number of additional +1/+1 counters on equal to his power, and as and is a mutant in addition to his other types. So
there's Sage of Hours.
Yep.
So Mike wins.
And there's the game. Mm-hmm. Siege of Hours is just dead.
Yep.
For all of us.
Yep. So Sage of Hours is the one that we told you that you put +1/+. Oh wow! And
yep, he has everything. Seedworm Muse, Zancid Worm, Rashmi, Gilded Lotus. He's got everything, and he has all the mana to do it because he's got infinite mana.
So Sage of Hours, he gets to take an extra turn.
Yep, and again,
and the game's over.
Yep.
So I think that it weirdly goes another couple turns. Because I remember Mike like Mystic Snaking something and then blinking the Mystic Snake.
I think he may have.
Because he said like, I don't want to win with Sage of Hours right away, and I'm like, why did you guys stay in this game?
Yeah.
So here it is. Heroic.
Whenever you cast
a spell,
untapping for
the +1/+1 counter on it. Remove all +1/+1 counters from Sage of Hours for each 5 counters removed this way. Take an extra turn after this one. So funny story. If you have infinite counters on it, you take infinite turns.
Yep.
That's
pretty good.
You do actually have to declare a number. So Mike probably said like 1,000.
A bajillion.
Or like a bajillion.
A bajillion.
I put a bajillion counters on it.
Yep.
So Xavier's going to windfall, trying to kill Mike here. But I think it gets Mystic Snake.
Yeah.
Now this card is a little bullshit in this deck. When it enters battlefield, counter target spell. It's got flash.
Yep.
2 blue, green, and colors. Just happens to be a 2/2. So Mike got another bajillion experience. Yep. And now with the Deadeye Navigator, he can blink it.
Yeah.
So now he has infinite counter spells, infinite mana, infinite untaps, infinite tutors, infinite turns, infinite infect.
Are we missing anything else?
I'm sorry. I'm just vomiting from everything that Mike has right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike's explaining to them, yeah, you guys don't get to cast spells in this game anymore.
Yeah.
Tough.
Tough luck.
Yeah. So
what you guys have on the board, you have to deal with.
Yep. It's over. I think it's funny that it still even went a couple times. And then he's like,
I think it's still trying to go.
Mike's showing also, like, just for good measure,
like,
I randomly have a rewind also.
Yeah, if you really want to do this.
Like I needed it. Infinite Mystic Snake blinks.
Yep.
God, what a dumb combo.
Yeah.
And that combo is stupid budget.
Oh.
Everything in Mike's field right now
is like
budget.
Under like $10.
That deck is crazy budget.
Yep.
Mystic Snake, not worth almost anything. Freaking the Peregrine Drake and Deadeye Navigator
are so bulk.
They're bulk.
I think the only thing that actually is money is Azuri himself. That may be it.
I don't even know if that's true.
It may only be true because he's only been reprinted like maybe once.
I'm gonna guess he's like $4.
Yeah, I want to say he's $4 or $5.
What's his actual Claw of Progress?
Claw of Progress. So he is actually about.
Ooh.
He is $13. So,
well, it is a really good commander deck.
Well, not only that, he's only been printed in one of the Commander Anthology sets, and that was it.
Right.
Like, he's only had one print. He's like the same. It's just like him and Atraxa. Yeah. So many Commanders have only been printed once, and they're just so good that the fact that they are not worth something.
Right. So, I think are people not scooping it?
I don't know. We've scooped in our heads, and we are now just playing for fun.
I don't get it because Mike won 1,000,000% wins.
Mike won like a year ago.
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, here comes handshakes.
We decided to shake hands.
That was not. I honestly think that with a little bit different plays, you might have been able to win that game.
Yeah, we could have gotten out of it.
Again,
it definitely was. It was kind of sad.
It's It's all right. It was a misplay. What? Anyway.
Anyway.
Have a nice day.
I think, yeah, everyone have a good night.